Gregorians, they're brilliant teachers, non-teachers, and the proud parents. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been to many occasions. I've possibly been to many schools also. But I've not seen a welcome that is so very expansive. What fabulous things they have said about each of us. Of course, Srikandan Nair and Sajan perhaps deserve all that. As far as I am concerned, I must thank you for, pardon me for the jargon we use as lawyers, the hyperbolic encomium. മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്നെപ്പറ്റി പറഞ്ഞ എല്ലാ നുണയ്ക്കും താങ്ക് യു. It's absolutely out of place to speak on an annual day. I go back to my days when I was a student. I was in the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I was the first batch. I was also the school captain for 3 years. I remember thinking, why can't these guests just stop and go so that we would have our fun and frolic? So parents are here to see their students get their awards, to celebrate what the children have achieved for the last 1 year. Annual day is also the day where the old gives way for the new, where some of the children would generally pass out into the next phase of their lives, and the other students would continue with their march into the next phases of their studies here. It's a great pleasure. It's a great honor to be here. I've lived all my life in Kochi. I'm actually born and brought up in Kochi. But I never had the opportunity or the privilege of coming this part of the world, not even this part of the world. So therefore, I've never been to the school either. I must thank this privilege to my registrar, Jyoti Lal. He is completely responsible for my pleasure today. I didn't have the time. In fact, I will be leaving in a few minutes after this. I'm expected to be somewhere else in Kochi at about 8:15. But he wouldn't say no. He wouldn't agree to it. Jyoti Lal said, my daughter studies here. He is a proud parent. And I met his lovely daughter. So she said, please sir, you have to be here. And I couldn't say no to him. And then the principal and the lovely ladies come and met me. I couldn't say no either. So therefore, I'm here today. And I know that I am probably primarily responsible for the delay today. I generally keep my time. I was asked to be here at about 6 o'clock. I came here by about 6:30. But today, don't blame me. It is purely because of some event that is happening all over the state, particularly in Kochi. The traffic was so high, and I made a mistake of not asking the police to help me out with a pilot. So that be it, I will not take too much of time. I know that the parents are waiting for their students to be decorated, for their awards to be given. It really doesn't matter what happens on the stage until they start their programs. Annual day is very important for the students, no doubt about it. And we recognize that also. We see them on the stage. We see them perform. We are happy to watch them. But I must definitely give the lion's share of the credit to the teachers, because I know how much of effort that must have gone in for the last perhaps days or weeks for an event like this. Even today, I could see that the tension was for the teachers. The students were just walking past and they were having a good game. But I saw how deeply involved the teachers were. They were actually moving every child to the designated spot without any demo. So congratulations to the teachers. It's an excellent program. The lights are on my eyes directly, so I can't see. But when I close it, thank you. I can see that it's a brilliant kind of an audience. It's one of the largest audiences I've seen in many schools. And congratulations to all the parents for your the performance for the accomplishments that your children have done for the last 1 year. I was hearing your introduction, something which really touched my heart. Education is life, and this is the paramount philosophy that we must keep for ourselves. It's a continuous process. From the birth to the death, every moment is education. What we now see is a formal part of that education. but life prepares you through a continuous education. The responsibility of a parent is the most paramount and the most primary in that whole scheme of things. I've always been told whenever we speak like this, they talk about the deteriorating days and the deteriorating times, the degenerating values and the philosophies. But believe me, this is all very, very subjective. I always say this in my speeches also. I joined the bar. What we mean by bar is when we joined the profession of law in 1991. And I remember my father telling me it was such a great time in 1968 or 66 when he joined. And he said, those were the times, ipekka moshamai. It's all bad now. This was in 1991. My son has joined the bar. He is a professional. He's also a lawyer for the last 4 years. When he joined, I said, what a time it was in 1991. Ipekka moshamai. My son will tell his son in 25 years, what a great time it was in 2023 or 24. It is all bad now. It's purely subjective. But that said, there is something which I think every student and every parent should really think about. This is something which I want you to be conscious about and thinking about on a constant basis when you deal with our children. Our children are certainly our gems. This is our treasure. This is the future of our great nation. Value education, when we speak about value education and we talk about the nuances of that, there is something that every teacher and every parent should keep in mind. And this is what we were told as students and as sons or daughters in our homes. The strength of character. This is not an empty word. A man or a woman or a human life is defined by the strength of character, by the character that you have.